by the parade committee, the parade creative director, and NBC executives. The application itself to get to them takes 6 months, and then they take 3 months to review it and make their selections. So as you can, just getting the nod is just a huge honor. But because of that long process for us as a band staff, this is month 13 of the Macy's process. So by the time we march next year, we'll have been 2 years into it. We are just really, really honored to be one of those bands. This is such a special opportunity, and we have a great trip planned for you. Something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. Before we get too far into this, I want to make one really important statement, and that is simply this. This trip is not required to be part of the GVME, all right? So if you can't make it, or you choose not to go, it doesn't mean you have to quit band. We certainly hope that you can go. We think this is an incredible, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Every time I work on this trip, I get more and more excited. It really is something special, but it shouldn't dictate whether you want to continue to play your instrument or not. All right, so here's basic information, and then I'll go into a kind of a day-by-day of the trip. The first thing, the first and most important thing that I want to reiterate is simply this. Safety is the most critical factor. You know, this picture became a lot more poignant as soon as I had a daughter. I would wrap her up in bubble wrap every day if I could. Safety is the most critical factor in determining a trip. Our policies and our trip procedures may seem extreme, but they are put in place to protect the students. Because of that, this is a student-designed trip first. This trip is for the students. So everything that we're going to do is going to make sure that one, they have a safe time, they have a culturally enriched time, they have an academically enriched time, they have an amazing opportunity to perform. With that said, we certainly hope that family members can come with us, and we call those the fans. So we have the GVME tour and the GV fan tour. To be eligible for the fan tour, there are people who are automatically eligible. If you're a parent or guardian, which includes step-parents, a sibling or a grandparent of a GVME member, you're automatically eligible to go. Any additional travelers beyond that, both myself and the administration need to approve. When we went to Hawaii a couple years ago, 3 years ago, we had some aunts and uncles come along with us, which were great. They were wonderful people. We loved having them. But because they're outside of the community district, we just want to make sure we know who's going and why they're going, etc. I will say this for those of you who are looking to go with us, and again, I really hope you do, and you'll see why. It's going to be an incredible experience. You very well may be able to find cheaper prices a la carte. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't guarantee you'll always be with your student or be involved in anything the students are doing. It doesn't guarantee that the dinners that we're having or the activities that we're doing. And so it absolutely may be cheaper, especially if you wait towards the end, but it doesn't guarantee being with the group. And I just want to reiterate that. The only way that if you want to be with the group, you have to go through this particular tour so that we can plan accordingly, both for student safety and because we are moving a small army. And so we need to make sure we know who's going to be where. Lastly, we take supervision incredibly seriously. Every day is very structured. With that being said, or even the free time is structured. If they have a couple hours at some place, we normally have check-in time, stuff like that. Students, however, are expected and given a responsibility, and they are not going to be supervised 24 hours a day. It just can't happen. Students, for example, may be told that between 1 and 3 they should be in this area, and then maybe at 2 o'clock there'll be a check-in. But that doesn't necessarily mean we'll be with, I guess for lack of a better term, kind of holding their hand the entire way. Staff member parents, staff are always around. However, the students will not, it'll be the student responsibility to act accordingly. Now, I will say this, We have never had an issue with this. Our students are incredible. They are classy, professional individuals that carry themselves with a maturity beyond their years when they're dealing in our department. That alone is reason enough to be with this group. It is truly remarkable. As you can see at the bottom, hundreds and hundreds of families have traveled with us. If you have questions, veteran parents are a great resource, so I would encourage you to talk to them. Basic financial information. Each family will have an account, and the accounts are through the travel agency. The travel agency is My Gateway. They specialize in moving. They specialize in moving performance ensembles across the nation and globe, really. They understand the logistics of all that involved, and they are an incredibly reputable company. They have a long history of successful tours and working with districts. We partnered with them in Hawaii. They're fantastic. On those accounts, so it's all online. It's each family's responsibility to stay up on current payments. If there are any discrepancies, that should go to Gateway, which is the travel company. In terms of fundraising, and there'll be more about this later in the meeting, we generally have new fundraisers every month, and most of the trip can be fundraised if students are very proactive. It's just like anything else. If you're expecting a pile of money to just drop in your lap, I mean, it's just not going to happen. I think we all know that. But what we have is we've got a series of fundraisers that if the students apply themselves and really dig into them, we are confident that they can raise the entire, most if not the entire trip. Now, with that being said, for this to work, we really need our Grand Valley Band Parent Association to be operating at full tilt. And if you don't know who that is, that's you, right? If you're a parent right now, that's you. We are always looking for volunteers. Always looking for volunteers. And so if that's something that you would be willing to help in, to help get our students to this lofty goal, there's a table out in the commons that you can sign up for various other things. That's a great place to start that contact. For our students, work is always considered an unexcused absence, all right, from a band rehearsal, even if you're earning money for the trip. So students, you need to plan accordingly. Lastly, and I want to reiterate, all financial correspondence goes directly to Gateway. I'll deal with the day-to-day stuff of the tour, bus assignments, airplane assignments, where we're going, when we're going to be there. But in terms of finances, in terms of you paying somebody, that all goes to the travel company. Okay, we're going to jump into the trip. I want you to see exactly what we're going to be doing day by day. A couple of things. To the nature of scheduling this far in advance, it is impossible to provide concrete information. So what you're going to see is generally what's going to be happening each day, all right? What you're not going to see is at 3 o'clock, we're going to do this and this and this and this. You will get that eventually, just not right now. As with past trips, where we are on what day can change up to a week before, up to our final meeting. So we can't guarantee our plans other than the parade schedule. So please plan at your own risk. If you're going to go on your own, we may be doing right now we may be planning an activity on Tuesday that you plan on being at, but it gets pushed to Wednesday because logistically it's better and for the students, right? If you've already made your plans according to that may change on you. So yet I guess another reason if you're a non-performing member to consider the fan tour. Here is a general inclusion, and I'll give you more specific inclusions after that. Generally what's included is a round-trip airfare from Kansas City to New York, ground transportation via charter bus, 6 nights accommodation, breakfast every morning, 2 lunches, 6 dinners, and all of the stuff that we're going to do on the trip. So, you guys want to see what we're going to do? Awesome. Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm so excited. I've been waiting so long to tell you about this. This is great. All right, 7 months I've been working on this. I can't wait to show you. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get on the bus and we're going to head to Kansas City International Airport. Now, what's so awesome about New York is we'll actually send all of the student luggage out early on our semi-trailers with the equipment. So the students will have a backpack and they'll be able to hop on the plane. It'll be super easy. Okay. Now, the way the planes work is we have staff members with small cadres of students. In Hawaii, we took something like 8 planes to get out there. All right. Now that's how many planes it takes to move, like I said, our small army. So every student has staff members, and then our followers are kind of spread out according to that. May not be on the plane with your student, but we have, like I said, procedures in place to make sure that the plane ride goes smoothly. When we get to New York, we'll check into our hotel. This is an exact hotel room from the hotel. And we're going to be staying at the Sheraton Lincoln Harbor Inn. And while that doesn't sound like, the name doesn't speak enough for what this hotel truly is. So I'm just going to show you. This is the hotel that we're going to be staying in. Yeah. This is the Sheraton Lincoln Harbor. It is in, it was chosen primarily for student safety. This is a hotel who has had Macy's bands stay at their hotel. They understand how to move students safely in and out of hotels. They understand how to position staff amongst students, how to accommodate our needs for equipment storage, meeting places, etc. This is an example of one of the hotel rooms. Not too shabby, all right? Which is, and then of course it has hotel accommodations. This is their pool. They have an in-house dining room. Here's one of the reasons we chose it. There's actually, besides student safety, there were 3 reasons. One, it was a really safe student area. This area is really safe. It's outside of downtown, so you can't just like walk out and get into a taxi cab. So it's very, very contained, very controlled, right? The second reason was, it's just across the river on the New Jersey side, so the rates are significantly lower than staying in downtown during Thanksgiving week. The third reason was actually for the fans who are going to follow us, and that is this reason. There is a waterway taxi that will take you right across the river. So for example, if we're at rehearsing and you want to go do a little bit of extra shopping, you just get a ticket and it takes you right into downtown transportation, which is really, really fantastic. Well, if it's that easy for parents, you say, why can't students do it? Because this hotel, again, is a really safe student hotel, we say, under no circumstances can students purchase any of blah, 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 blah. And they say, okay, that's fantastic. They're great people to work with. My favorite part of this hotel is the night view, though. When you stand at the hotel, this is what you see. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's such a cool experience just to be at the hotel. But it gets better. Here's Monday. Monday is all about getting oriented to New York. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop on a charter bus that morning, and our hotel is literally right next to a tunnel that goes into the city. So 10 minutes later, we're going to be in the downtown city. We have tour guides who will kind of show us all around the city. They'll show us Little Italy, the financial district, downtown, all that kind of stuff. And then at the end of the bus tour, they're going to take us to yet another harbor, and we're going to hop on this. This is the Spirit lunch cruise, all right? And this is designed to show you the outside of New York, right? So it's a lunch cruise. We hop on here. As you can see, there's a dance floor in the middle. They have a DJ, which is really cool. I mean, we're going to start this tour off right. I'm telling you that, all right? But it can accommodate our whole group. There's multiple stories. And here's the reason why we're going to do it. This is so important. Because part of the New York experience is seeing the Statue of Liberty, right? And this takes you around the Statue of Liberty. And you get to experience the statue like it was meant to be experienced. The Statue of Liberty was put there, as I'm sure all of the adults know, but maybe the students haven't got to that part in class yet, as a welcoming to the people coming into America. And it was meant to be experienced on a boat. I cannot think of a better way to do that than with all of you eating some good grub and just enjoying the day. So that's just half the day, guys. It gets even better. It gets even better. So after that, we're going to get off and we're going to go to something that I truly believe will change lives. And I say that because it changed mine. It changed how I look at the world. It changed my perspective in relationships with how I interact with people. And that is the 9/11 Memorial. This is a truly impactful, reverend area. And what you're looking at right now, you're looking at the footprint of the Twin Towers, and right behind that, right in the middle, is the memorial. So what happens is when you walk up to the footprint, it's surrounded, the entire thing is surrounded by names of the people who were lost that day. And it's a forever waterfall, so it goes in under. And so we just spent some time there reflecting, and after that we're going to go into the museum. And to go to the museum, you go down under the footprints, where there used to be rubble. And it's a really incredible experience. It's so incredible that it's one thing I'm not going to show you too much about. And not because I want it to be a surprise, but because I want it to be an incredibly personal experience. It's absolutely unreal. I will show you this though. As you go into the footprint, into what used to be the carnage of that day, you simply see this quote: "No day shall erase you from the memory of time." And the artist who did this, the blue tiles that you see there, are meant to represent the blue skies that were showing that day. You see things like the fire trucks that got smashed in the rubble. It's an incredible experience, and one that is probably the thing I'm most excited for, because from an adult perspective, to watch students get it is a really special thing. And it's something that if you're a parent right now, I hope you can go with us for that reason. One of the main reasons, but that reason in and of itself, I think it's just going to be an incredible experience. And then when we leave there, we'll go to a place called La Nonna in Little Italy, or something similar, but a culturally relevant restaurant within the New York spectrum. So then that's just Monday, all right? We've got the rest of the week to go. So let's going on to Tuesday. Tuesday we're going to do some rehearsals in culture. We have to. Believe it or not, there is a performance that's kind of important during this thing. So we do need to do a little bit of rehearsal. That would be a great morning for our fan tour to hop the ferry over and get some shopping done. But there are several community parks, community fields right next to the harbor that we'll rehearse at. After that, then, a quintessential New York winter experience is skating in Trump Rink in Central Park. If you watch Home Alone, the thing that he slides through, that was done here. So it's a great experience. After that, this is part of so I'm a big proponent, and if we can enrich academically, we will. So we're going to go to the Natural History Museum in New York. Many of you seen Night at the Museum. That was based on this museum. It's huge. Just a huge, incredible museum. Really excited about. My wife and I went there this summer and just loved every minute of it. After we go to the Natural History Museum, we're going to continue on our New York Culture Day, and we're going to go to Grand Central Station, where we will eat at an incredible restaurant called Cucina and Company Cafe. It's right in Grand Central Station, so after they're done eating, they get to experience all that's involved in that. And for the students, this is really cool. They have these really low domed overhangs, and so if you imagine this is an overhang, right? If one student can stand here and the other student will stand at the far end, and you can whisper, and the acoustics of the environment are so cool because the sound will go up over everybody's head, and you can hear them crystal clear on the other side. It's a really neat experience. And so when you walk into Grand Central Station, I was a little bit weird the first time I walked in, because you just see people standing at the wall like this. It's just like, this is creepy, you know? And then you realize what you're doing, and then 30 seconds later, I was the guy that was like this. And it was awesome. It was so cool. So it's a really fun experience. We're going to go back, enjoy the incredible view at our hotel, and get some sleep. And then Wednesday, it just gets even better. Wednesday morning, we're going to get up, we're going to get some breakfast, going to hop on a charter bus, and we're going to spend some time in Times Square. And Times Square is awesome. It's very sectioned off, so it's a very safe place to be. And then there's also some incredible shopping there, and not only just incredible in terms of all this clothes and stuff like that, but they for example, my favorite and Dr. Plowman's favorite, by the way, is the M&M world, and it's a four-story store of just M&Ms, M&M apparel, like different M&M products. You can make your own M&Ms, you can mix your own M&Ms. Woo-wee, that's what I'm talking about right there. And that's all, that's just like, there, you know, you can go to Toys R Us, they've got a giant carousel in there, and then of course there's shopping stores, they've got a Disney store there that I'm pretty sure if my little daughter walks into, I'm gonna be bankrupt after that. So it's a really cool, really cool experience. And so we're going to do that in the morning. Now we're doing that in the morning for a couple of reasons. One, that's one of the least crowded times to go. And so again, everything that we do is going to be based around student safety. And two, that puts us in the exact perfect location to go to our next event, which is a Broadway musical. So, we're going to go to a Broadway musical, and there's a couple of things. I noticed there's a couple up here, all right, and here's why. Broadway musicals don't release tickets until much later, all right? So we have a short list of musicals, both of these of which are on the short list, and you'll know as we get closer, but that is as performers, we need to go see the top performers in the world, and I can't think of a better way to do that than on Broadway in New York. Now, and this is part of the experience of seeing a Broadway show, is dressing nicely, getting your playbill, understanding all the culture that's involved in it. This is going to be an amazing experience. All right? We're going to see a matinee on a Wednesday, and a matinee is chosen because we need to grab dinner, which will be at Dallas Barbecue, which is right in Times Square. And it's going to be an early dinner. So we're going to fill our bellies full of Dallas barbecue. We're going to look at each other satisfied and then mumble out the side of our mouth, wow, that was really good. Not as good as Kansas City barbecue, but it was good nonetheless. And then we're going to head back to the hotel. We need to get an early, at least the students are, we need to get an early bedtime because, and this is kind of behind the scenes of Macy's. Because we have to get up really early in the morning. I wouldn't say how early, but it is like, I didn't know this time existed early in the morning. To rehearse on the actual star. And we'll be assigned a 15-minute window to rehearse. And the reason we are assigned rehearsal is because the Macy's Day Parade is designed for one thing and one thing only. You think it's for your entertainment, it's not. It's for an Emmy. The whole parade is designed to earn an Emmy. So that's part of why there's such a lengthy application process. So that 15-minute window is our chance of, and it's one 15-minute window of the entire parade. It's our chance to go in and they get their camera angles set, their sweeping shots, they get their beat points set, and then we're done. So after rehearse and you know help their Emmy cause, all right. Emmy, that is the daytime stuff, right? Is that the right one? The TV? Yeah. Okay, Emmy. All right. Here I am, the Oscar. I don't know. So after that, we're gonna rent out a location for breakfast. And I can't tell you where yet because it'll be dependent on where we stage. But Gateway has New York contact that has incredible pull amongst the New York restaurants, and they are specifically designed to accommodate Macy's fans. So we'll go in, we'll have the whole place to ourselves, we'll eat, we'll be able to relax, get a little, I don't know, you can take a little snoozer if you want. Because then when we stage, we step off into the parade. And the parade is amazing. You start in the middle of Central Park and you work your way all the way uptown, and it is absolutely incredible. Live, just in the parade, there's annually 3.5 million people lining the streets. That's not counting the people that are up in the buildings watching. There's a lot, right? We're going to perform. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an unforgettable memory. There's camera crews everywhere. There's people waving. You know, you're going to feel like rock stars. And then you turn the corner, and then the students are supposed to restage real quickly. So they'll restage. They'll be looking at the producer for a go, and that's when, for a minute and 15 seconds, the entire 50 million viewers will understand and recognize where Grain Valley, Missouri is, all right? We are going to perform and put Grain Valley on the map. That sound like a plan to you? I I am so excited. I am so excited to see our Martian Eagles amongst that star, that iconic Macy's star. It's going to be really, really incredible. A minute and 15 seconds. That's what we have before that's what everybody has. A minute 15 seconds. Okay. The next thing is actually the second thing I'm most excited for. It's the 9/11 memorial, and then this next thing. And you'd be surprised that it's not the parade. It's not. And the reason is because this is the performance opportunity for the kids. My favorite part of the job then is watching the students, watching their achievements, watching their hard work, just being generally happy with each other. So that evening, all right, we're going to go back to the hotel, we're going to change, we're going to sleep because you're going to be exhausted. And then we're going to have, not kidding, the most unforgettable Thanksgiving dinner as an entire band family that you could ever possibly imagine. What we've done, and I'm so proud of this. I'm so excited for Thanksgiving already. What we've done, we've rented out the Liberty House. That's where we're going to be having Thanksgiving dinner. All right, a band that's special enough to perform at the Macy's deserves the most special Thanksgiving dinner possible. We, as a collective, deserve to celebrate these students' achievements, and I'm really, really excited to do that with you. So, as you see, it's right across in downtown. It's right in the Liberty Memorial is where it is. Is like the event place to hold these types of things. And then after that, this is the one time the students are going to be a little bit selfish. They're going to say good night to the fan tour. The fan tour is going to go back to the hotel or go out shopping or do whatever you want. And we're going to bring in, we're going to have a student celebration that evening. We're going to bring in a DJ. We're going to roll the red carpet out for you, because you're making history, guys. You're making history, and we want you to remember it forever. That sounds like heck of a Thanksgiving, am I right? All right, so then we'll go back to bed, and that day alone, you'll think, man, we just marched the Macy's Day Parade. We were just eating at the Liberty House. We'll get up the next morning. We'll kind of pre-pack a little bit because we're going to be busy the rest of the day, and we're gonna head to Rockefeller Center. And Rockefeller Center is it's where you see the iconic Christmas tree and ice rink. It's where NBC Studios is. And it's where Radio City Music Hall is. And Radio City Music Hall plays host to one of the most famous holiday shows in the entire world, which we're going to go see, which is the Christmas Spectacular by the Rockettes. Yeah, it's awesome. So those ladies are going to perform the Macy's Day Parade too, I would imagine, and that next day we'll get to see them. So then we'll go perform and we'll go eat dinner at another amazing New York location. Not as amazing as the Liberty House. That's just so you know. It's a good location. I remember. It's Naples 45. It's this really cool. So Naples 45 is this really cool pizza place, and they make the pizza in like the brickstone ovens. It's really cool. For Mr. Gronenberg, they will do a cheese-only pizza. I would never ever book a pizza place without making sure. I got your back, Jack. And then we're going to end the night by going to the top of the rock observation deck, and that is at the top of Rockefeller Center. There is an incredible observation deck, and it holds a ton of people. It's the best observation deck in the city, and we're going to say goodbye to this version of New York. That's top of the rock. Yeah, if you see, this is the first level right down here. Right down here is the first level of people, and it's a multi-level observation deck. And what's cool about this is one side, but when you turn around and look the other way, what you see kind of what I'm looking at right now, which is this big black expanse, and that's Central Park, and you really get an idea of how big that place is. It's really cool, and it's a really, really, really great experience and a great way to experience the skyline of New York. And that, you wonderful people, concludes the tour of the Macy's Parade, because we'll get up the next day, parting is such sweet sorrow, and we'll go home. That's a good tour, don't you think? Yeah. So, here's the inclusion summary, now that you've seen it all. Round-trip airfare between Kansas City and New York. Again, chartered ground transportation, 6 night accommodations, 6 total breakfasts, 2 lunches, 5 dinners, plus a Thanksgiving dinner at Liberty House. City tour, 9/11 Memorial Museum, and along with that comes the New York Fire Department, Memorial Wall, etc. A Broadway show, the Radio City Music Spectacular, the Natural History Museum, Spirit of New York lunch cruise at the Top of the Rock observation. Not to mention the Trump ice skating rink and all that stuff. So we've got a packed tour for you. So let's get into the nitty-gritty then. Here is. Thank you, adults. You got that. All right, I appreciate it. Hey, I thought that was creative myself. All payments go directly to Gateway Music and Festivals. Payments can be made via check, or because it's online, you can do it credit or debit card. Now, in Hawaii, we had like 4 or 5 families. This is a pro tip I didn't know about until after the trip. Pro tip. A lot of families have those Disney cards, those Disney credit cards, and what these families would do is they put it on their Disney credit card and then just pay it off the next month. And so when we had like 4 or 5 families that went to Hawaii and got a free Disney trip out of it. I thought that was really creative, so something to think about. And then after that, so as part of My Gateway, you'll be able to see all of your balances, all of the inclusions, and all the students have travel insurance. Everybody who goes on our tour will have travel insurance, but you can opt into more travel insurance, which there's all that information online. And how to get online and get registered will be all in the packets that you get as you leave. Here is the big stuff, and this is almost exactly what we did with Hawaii as well. I only mention that because it's a precedent of we've taken these big trips. It's worked really, really, really well for us, and so we want to make sure that we're not reinventing the wheel. The first thing, January 10th is the first really big day. All right. A travel agreement is due for all people traveling in the group. So travel agreement, which is your student, if you're planning on going with your student, and if your grandparents are planning on going, that they all deserve that. And then on top of that, there's a $350 deposit due for each traveler. Now, here's the deal. As per, with agreement in accordance with the school district, this is the one thing that we can't use fundraise money on, and here's why. As just kind of a quick analogy, we've got to get some skin in the game. We are all interdependent. The cost is interdependent amongst everybody. So what that does is it allows us to make sure that if somebody cancels, etc., it kind of provides that kind of buffer to protect that. So here's the pricing. All right, here's how the pricing works. For a 4-person room, it's $2,100, and that's for all. That's students are automatically in that. After the deposit, that's $194 a month. A triple room, and it kind of works its way down there for the fan tour. Just to kind of give you guys an idea of perspective, for the students who went to Hawaii, their trip fell right here. All right, so they did a $350 deposit, and it was about $255 a month after that. So I am encouraged that we were able to pack more into the trip, making sure that they stay busy at a significantly cheaper cost than Hawaii. So generally the payment schedule is after the initial deposit, monthly payments will be due sometime around the 10th of each month, starting from February through October. Fundraisers will be applied as soon as possible, but to My Gateway, but it could take up to 4 or 5 weeks. Now, usually it doesn't, but what will happen is when fundraising money comes in, we'll consolidate the money, we'll have a list of student names, and we'll send that check and student names to My Gateway, and they'll credit your accounts individually. Right? If it's, and we'll try to send out a reminder to let you know when that happens. Or email let you know. Here's the next big deadline. June 1st is the drop deadline for refund minus the deposit. So after June 1st, you're responsible for the entire trip, whether you go on it or not. And again, that is to protect the student entrance, because by this point we've paid in full a lot of the aspects of the trip. When I say we, I mean My Gateway. We'll note that the refund must be requested in writing to the travel company and cannot not include any fundraised money. So you can basically get refunded any money that you put in. Now, specifically for the fan tour, there's a couple of things. We're designing a tour in conjunction with the student tour for the GVME families who want to travel with us. We want as many people to join us on this incredible experience as possible, as long as it's not cost prohibitive. And by that I mean this. The biggest impact on cost is ground transportation. Simply put, is charter buses. A charter bus costs the same whether there's 10 people on the bus or 55 people on the bus. If we get to a point where we are on the verge of spilling into an additional coach with very few people to cover the cost, we will cap the fan tour and move some registrants to a wait list. The wait list will be determined by the deposit date. So in this case, the early bird gets the worm. A fan tour member who falls behind on their payments may be moved to the wait list and be replaced by someone who is current on their payments. Again, early bird gets the worm. Please know that this does not impact students. Students do not have a wait list, all right? We learned this the hard way, and basically I learned this the hard way. We didn't set a cap for Hawaii, we didn't plan for that cap in Hawaii, and it ended up increasing the cost as we went through the year. We're just not willing to do that. We're not gonna do that to our membership. So we lived and learned, and there's the adjustments that bands, not only just our bands, but bands after us have made. Now, I'll never throw a money sum in front of you without offering ways to relieve that. All right, here are the fundraisers, and what we're going to do right now is we're going to show you the next 9 months worth of fundraisers. Now, we reserve the right to adjust and change them a little bit, tweak them, right, to make sure that they're in prime optimal times. But generally, here's what we're going to happen. Right now, through January, we have Chiefs events workers. Now, here's what's so great about this. Up to this point, we've had Chiefs event workers. Up to this point, you've had to have a security license to do that, which we can get with you. But now, because of the work that BPA has done, they've opened up other opportunities. So you can work these events. With literally, no hoops to jump through. All you have to do, sign your name up and show up, and you'll get paid. I just put a series of events in for a student account. I think our student, the top student earned $385 on working a couple of events. Both parents work. The average event payout has been somewhere between $60 to $90. So this is a really easy thing, a really easy thing. And the thing is, the more people who work, the higher the profit margin as well. Then we're going to do our normal February candy bars. For our big trip cycles, all profits go directly to the students. So all students will be able to profit from candy bars. And then this may change between March and May, but many of you have been to Top Golf. Anyone in Overland Park? Okay. It's a brand new place. They've offered to do a fundraiser with us. It's a very corporate-esque location. Get out, check it out. It's really cool. Then we'll do a spring break giveaway, bowl-a-thon, car wash-a-thon, so on and so forth. So the reason I show you this is to show you that we have plans put in place. Okay. Here's, we do have one ongoing fundraiser, and it's a fundraiser that's been ongoing for the past 6 years, and that is our Adopt a Member program. This is the single biggest fundraiser we run, and it's probably the most important fundraiser because 100% of the profit goes straight to the student. This is what we found. We have very successful fundraisers, and we're very lucky to have a BPA so committed to helping our students raise money. Again, they're always looking for, when I say they, you are always looking for volunteers. So if you'd be willing to help, we'd really appreciate it. Along that, we found that most people, rather than jumping through these fundraising hoops, they'd rather just write the student a check. What's tough about that, though, is MSHA, Missouri State High School Athletic Association, has very strict amateur rules. So we've designed this program so the students can have donations on their behalf without violating their eligibility. So what will happen is people can donate money on behalf of your student. Every single dollar goes directly to your students. It's not uncommon to have donations per your student of anywhere from $200. I think our highest donation was $500. right? And sometimes they come in smaller increments, 25, 50, you know, smaller increments. And the people who, and it's all about volume. How many people can you send these to? How many people can you ask? And they're incredibly profitable. The nice thing about this year is the Macy's Parade is an American icon. It is a cultural establishment within our national lexicon. And so because people are so aware of it and understand really, truly how special this opportunity is, we found that the people who are sending out adopted members with the Macy stamp on it, which we have some for you as you leave, have had incredibly successful turnover rates. Additionally, on the adopted member, the fundraising pack that you're going to get, there are tips to how to maximize adopted members. Follow them exactly. They help so much in so many ways. Some additional things to consider. What if I decide to add onto the trip after the deposit date? Available space can't be guaranteed after January 10th. However, if you do add, we'll put you on the wait list, and if there's an opening, we'll add you on. The reason that's important is because if the wait list is big enough to add another charter bus, then everyone will get bumped, which is fantastic. Keep in mind, though, that the cost of your trip may be more as you sign up later, just because airfare may increase, and the traveler will be responsible for all the payments up to that point. So if you decide you want to go in May, and this is for fans, you just need to sign up soon. I don't know, I should take that back. If you decide you want to go in May, you still will be responsible for every payment up to that point. What if you decide to pull out of the trip? You're responsible for all fees and penalties issued by the travel company as outlined by their contract, and I encourage you to read their terms and conditions. It's nothing nefarious, it's pretty standard. And then again, I remind you of the June 1st date. If you have more questions, all right, we gave you a 4x6 card. Feel free to write them down, just like I said at the beginning, and we'll go through them all. If there are common questions, I'll make a frequently asked questions thing. We'll email them out. If you don't have, if you don't have a 3x5 card, write them on your intent to travel. Lastly, I'll say this. The current opportunity we have right now is because of the financial diligence of both our previous band families, our school, the school district in general, and the band department's financial diligence. It's because we've been responsible with making sure that payments are on time that we continue to get these opportunities. So I really encourage you to help protect that. With that being said, I want to remind you that as you exit, well, I'll get to that in a minute. There's a lot of information, obviously, a lot of behind the scenes information you're seeing here. They're all in the information packet. So as you exit the building, right? If you'll hand your intent to travel form to a band director along with your 3x5 card. The intent to travel form is not an obligation. It just gives us a basic number. That minute and 15 seconds that you see, we start planning for that on December 11th. So yeah, this Friday is when we start that. We need to know, we need to have a general idea of the students who are coming, and in the travel company, we've got some things we've got to work out. We need to start working, have a general idea of who's going to be coming with us. So when you leave, you're going to hand your blue form to a staff member. You're going to hand your 3x5 card to a staff member, and then as you exit, it's important that you grab the green packet, which goes through all the basic information and itinerary that I went over you. A pink packet, which goes through all of the financial information in greater detail, so you can see everything that involves. A yellow packet, which is a fundraising packet, that gives you the fundraising calendar, gives you the adopted member program to start out with. And then the white form. The white form is the travel contract. And you'll need to take one for every person you think will be traveling with you. So the green packet, one per family, the financial